In the dense, emerald heart of the Democratic Republic of Congo's rainforest, where the air hung heavy with the scent of wet earth and blooming orchids, a tiny gorilla named Zara was born under a canopy of ancient trees. The year was 2010, and the world she entered was one of raw beauty and relentless danger. Her mother, a majestic silverback female named Lyra, had led their small family troop with quiet authority, foraging for fruits and leaves while keeping a watchful eye on her newborn. Zara's first memories, if gorillas could articulate such things, were of clinging to Lyra's coarse fur, feeling the rhythmic thump of her mother's heartbeat as they swung through the vines. But paradise was fragile. Poachers, driven by the black market demand for bushmeat and exotic pets, infiltrated the forest like ghosts. One fateful dawn, as the troop rested in a clearing, gunfire shattered the peace. Lyra, protecting her infant, charged at the intruders, her roars echoing through the trees. She fell in a hail of bullets, her body crumpling to the forest floor. The poachers fled, leaving chaos in their wake. Zara, barely a few months old, huddled beside her mother's lifeless form, her tiny fists clutching at the cooling fur, whimpering in confusion and fear. It was a wildlife patrol from the Virunga National Park that found her. Ranger Elias Mwangi, a seasoned guardian of the wild with scars from past encounters, spotted the orphaned infant. "Poor little one," he murmured, his voice thick with sorrow. As he gently scooped her up, she was malnourished, terrified, her eyes wide with the trauma of loss. The rangers knew they couldn't leave her to the mercy of the jungle. Predators or starvation would claim her within days. They contacted international conservation organizations. And soon, Zara was on a plane bound for the United States, destined for the Cleveland Wildlife Sanctuary, a place renowned for rehabilitating endangered primates. Upon arrival, the sanctuary staff welcomed her with open arms. Dr. Sofia Rivera, the lead veterinarian, a woman in her 40s with a no-nonsense demeanor honed from years in the field, examined Zara immediately. "She's resilient," Sofia noted, her hands steady as she administered vaccines and nutrients. "But she need time to trust again." The sanctuary became Zara's new world, a spacious enclosure mimicking the rainforest, complete with climbing structures, hidden nooks, and a team of dedicated keepers who bottle-fed her and taught her basic social skills. As months turned to years, Zara grew. Her fur darkened to a glossy black, her muscles rippled with strength, and her intelligence shone through in playful antics. She learned to use tools, fashioning sticks to fish for termites from artificial mounds, and formed bonds with other rescued gorillas. But it was with the humans that she truly connected. Keeper Marcus Hale, a young man fresh out of college with a passion for primatology, became her favorite. "Look at those eyes," he'd say to his colleagues. "She's got a soul in there, deeper than most people I know." Zara would greet him with soft grunts, extending a massive hand for gentle touches. By her 8th birthday, Zara was a star at the U Sanctuary. Visitors marveled at her gentleness, and she even participated in educational programs, helping raise awareness about gorilla conservation. But the sanctuary faced challenges of its own. Funding cuts from shifting government priorities threatened to close parts of the facility. Little did anyone know that Zara's life was about to take a turn that would not only change her fate, but also save the place she called home. It started subtly, like the first drops of a coming storm. Zara, now 11 and in the prime of her life, began exhibiting odd behaviors. She withdrew from the troop, seeking solitude in the farthest corner of her enclosure, a shaded alcove lined with soft hay. Her appetite surged. She'd devour piles of yams, bananas, and leafy greens with an urgency that puzzled the keepers. Mornings brought bouts of nausea, and she'd spend hours dozing, her massive frame curled protectively around her. Belly Marcus was the first to notice. "Something's off," he confided in Dr. Sofia during their morning rounds. "She's not her usual self. Remember how she'd play with the young ones? Now she just stares off into space." Sofia, ever the pragmatist, ordered tests. Blood work, ultrasounds, the results came back like a thunderclap. Zara was pregnant. The news rippled through the sanctuary like wildfire. "But how?" Marcus exclaimed, his mind racing. Zara had been carefully managed. Interactions with males were supervised to prevent unplanned pregnancies in captivity. Then they remembered Kato, a visiting male gorilla from a partner zoo in Europe. He'd been brought in for a breeding program exchange 6 months earlier. Silverback, with a calm temperament. Their brief encounters had seemed innocent, but nature had other plans. Excitement bubbled among the staff. Zara, the orphaned survivor, was to become a mother. It was a full-circle moment, a testament to the sanctuary's success in rehabilitation. But as the pregnancy progressed, concerns mounted. Zara's withdrawal intensified. She avoided Kato and the other females, growling softly if they approached too closely. Her energy waned, and she developed a slight limp, favoring her left side. Dr. Sophia assembled a team. "We need to monitor her 24/7, she declared. They adjusted her diet high in calcium and proteins to support the developing fetus. But Zara's behavior deviated from the norm. In wild gorillas, pregnant females often isolated slightly for protection, but Zara's isolation was extreme. She'd huddle in her nook, one hand resting on her swelling belly, her eyes distant as if haunted by memories of her own lost mother. To complicate matters, a new veterinarian joined the team. Dr. Liam Hartley, a rising star in primate medicine. Fresh from a prestigious fellowship at the Smithsonian, Liam was ambitious, armed with cutting-edge research on gorilla genetics and behavior. From day one, he clashed with Sophia. "Your approach is too hands-off," he argued in their first meeting, his British accent sharp. "We need data-driven interventions. Isolate her fully to minimize stress." Sophia bristled. "I've been doing this for 25 years, Dr. Hartley. Gorillas thrive on social bonds. Separating her could devastate her mentally." Their debates raged. Diet plans, Sophia favored natural forages. Liam pushed supplements, activity levels free-roaming versus structured, and even enclosure modifications. Liam saw Zara's pregnancy as a case study for his research. Sophia viewed it as a sacred process to be nurtured. The staff was caught in the crossfire. Marcus, loyal to Sophia, grumbled about Liam's arrogant methods. While newer keepers appreciated his innovative ideas, Zara, sensing the tension, grew even more restless. One evening, as dusk fell, she let out a series of low, mournful hoots that echoed through the sanctuary, sending chills down the spines of those on night watch. As Zara's due date approached, estimated at 9 months from conception, the sanctuary buzzed with anticipation. But fate had a twist in store. 3 weeks early, Zara went into labor, began with subtle signs, pacing, soft groans, a refusal to eat. By midnight, her cries pierced the night, drawing the entire team. "It's too soon," Marcus shouted, racing to the enclosure with medical kits. Sophia and Liam arrived simultaneously, their rivalry forgotten in the urgency. Zara lay on her side, her breaths labored, sweat matting her fur. Contractions racked her body, but no progress. Hours passed 4, then 6, with Zara's roars growing weaker. "Something's wrong," Liam whispered, his face pale under the floodlights. An ultrasound revealed the horror, placenta previa, where the placenta had implanted low, blocking the birth canal. In humans, it was dangerous. In gorillas, it was often fatal without intervention. "We have to do a C-section," Sophia said, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. C-sections on gorillas were rare, performed only a handful of times worldwide. The risks were immense: anesthesia complications, infection, rejection of the infant, but there was no choice. The team prepped a sterile operating area in the veterinary clinic, sedating Zara with darts from a safe distance before transferring her. As the procedure began, tension hung thick in the air. Sophia and Liam worked in sync, their hands moving with precision born of expertise. Incisions were made, layers peeled back. Then, aghast, Sophia extracted a tiny, wriggling form, a female gorilla, slick with fluid, her cries weak but alive. But it wasn't over. "There's another," Liam exclaimed, his eyes widening. "Twins. In gorillas." Multiple births occurred once in thousands of cases, with survival rates dismal. Yet here they were, 2 infants, both breathing, both healthy by initial checks. The room erupted in cheers, tears flowing freely. Marcus bottle-fed the newborns while Zara recovered under sedation. The twins were named Luna and Leo, symbols of the moon and sun that had witnessed their miraculous arrival. As Zara awoke in a recovery pen, her instincts kicked in. She scooped up her babies, grooming them gently, her eyes softening with a mother's love. The bond was instantaneous, profound, a bridge from her tragic past to a hopeful future. News of the twin births spread like wildfire. Cleveland Wildlife Sanctuary, once a quiet haven, became a global focal point. Researchers from the Jane Goodall Institute and universities worldwide descended, eager to study this rarity. In my 40 years, I've seen only 2 documented twin survivals, proclaimed Dr. Elena Vargas, a visiting primatologist. This could rewrite our understanding of gorilla reproduction. Observations began immediately. Zara's mothering was exemplary. She alternated nursing, ensuring both twins thrived. Genetic tests revealed no defects, pure luck, or perhaps the sanctuary's care. Data poured in, feeding patterns, social interactions, growth metrics. The twins' playful tussles provided insights into sibling dynamics rarely observed. But beneath the excitement lurked shadows. The sanctuary was in dire financial straits. Donations had dwindled amid economic downturns, and maintenance costs soared. Director Amelia Grant confided in a staff meeting, "We might have to downsize." Close enclosures? It was Marcus who stepped up. Haunted by his own past, losing his parents young, much like Zara, he saw an opportunity. "Zara's story is gold," he said. "Let's share it. Fundraise through it." He orchestrated a campaign, Miracle Twins, saving gorillas, one story at a time. Social media posts went viral, documentaries were pitched, and a live webcam feed drew millions. Celebrities endorsed, funds poured in. But challenges arose. A rival conservation group accused them of exploiting Zara, sparking media backlash. Liam, with his research connections, defended them in interviews, while Sophia handled the emotional appeals. Subplots wove in. Sophia revealed her backstory, a childhood fascination sparked by a zoo visit, driving her career. Liam confessed his drive stemmed from guilt over a failed field project in Africa. Their rivalry evolved into respect, even friendship, mirroring Zara's journey. Dies. So did threats. A poaching syndicate, linked to Zara's past, surfaced in news reports targeting sanctuaries for rare animals. Security tightened. Marcus patrolled nights, his bond with Zara deepening. One stormy evening, intruders breached the perimeter, aiming for the twins. Alarms blared, rangers intervened, a chase ensued, ending in arrests. The incident boosted publicity, turning Zara into a symbol of anti-poaching efforts. Internally, tensions flared. A twin, Leo, developed a minor infection, testing the team's unity. Sophia and Liam's combined expertise saved him, solidifying their partnership. Visitors flocked, revenue surged, the sanctuary expanded, adding educational programs. Years later, Zara and her twins flourished. Luna and Leo, now juveniles, played under watchful eyes, their existence a beacon for conservation. The sanctuary thrived, funding new initiatives in Africa. Zara's story inspired laws against poaching, global donations. In quiet moments, Marcus reflected, from ashes to miracles. Zara, gazing at her family, embodied resilience. The world, reminded of nature's wonders, pledged to protect it. Flashback to Zara's early days at the sanctuary, detailed descriptions of her adjustment, initial fear, first bonds with keepers. Introduce a subplot where a young volunteer, Elena, bonds with Zara, drawing parallels to her own orphaned childhood. Elena's perspective adds emotional layers, describing Zara's intelligent solving puzzles, communicating through signs. Expand on the rainforest poaching scene, vivid action. Liase's internal monologue about corruption in local governments fueling poaching. Connect to global issues like habitat loss from mining, word count building, detailed daily routines, interactions with other gorillas, foreshadowing pregnancy. Deep dive into pregnancy symptoms. Suspense builds with false alarms. Zara's limp worsens. Tests reveal minor issues. Clashes between Sophia and Liam escalate A heated argument leads to Liam threatening to leave, but a shared moment observing Zara reconciles them partially. Subplot: Keto's backstory: he was rescued from a circus, adding themes of animal exploitation. Zara's strange pregnancy includes unusual cravings, night terrors anthropomorphized through observations, an extended birth scene, hour-by-hour tension, medical details, anesthesia risks, surgical steps. Flashbacks during surgery. Sophia recalls a past failed delivery. Liam thinks of his mentor's advice. Joy of birth contrasted with Fiertwin's initial weak cries. Resuscitation efforts. Post-birth care. Bottle feeding details. Zara's recovery with pain management. Research influx. Specific studies on twin genetics behavior. Interviews with experts. Data analysis. Subplot: a journalist embeds, uncovering sanctuary's financial woes, leading to investigative piece that boosts donations but exposes vulnerabilities. Poaching threat subplot expands. Intruders are part of a larger network. Action sequence: chase through enclosures, Zara's protective roars. Aftermath: media frenzy, international aid. Character development: Sophia and Liam's romance hints. Marcus proposes to Alina. Twins milestones. First steps: play fights. Conservation impact: sanctuary partners with African reserves, reintroduction programs, long-term outcomes. Twins mature, Zara ages gracefully. Global legacy: inspired documentaries, laws, ending reflection on miracles, calling for action. Thanks so much for listening. See you in the next video. Have a great day.